Hello brain lovers, Gregory here from the Brain Academy. So it is this time of year again, leaves are falling from the trees, the nights are getting longer, the days are getting colder, which means Halloween, 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 Halloween. Yay! But have you ever wondered what it is about a Halloween that we enjoy so much? I'm not talking about marshmallows and hot chocolate. I'm not even talking about this fascination for death and decay. Rather, today I want to explore with you what it is about getting scared that we enjoy so much. Or at least some of us. I tried it once with my wife, like jump scare her, and yeah, that didn't work out the way I planned it. Don't do it. Don't go there. You'll regret it dearly. Trust me. From zombie movies to bungee jumping, from escape rooms, come on! Over horror video games to a haunted house. Why are some of us attracted by this? What is happening in our brains that we end up enjoying this? It can get pretty graphic. Some horror movies are just terrifying. Really terrifying. I'm probably not a reference here. I'm a softie. Remember The Sixth Sense? I had chills all over my body during a week afterwards.
I see dead people walking around like regular people.
And The Sixth Sense is suspenseful, sure, but on a scale from 0 to 10, it rates like a 1 for horror. It's nothing. It's a child play. No. The furthest I've been in horror movies, or at least enjoying them, was Scream.
Hello, Sydney.
And the Blair Witch Project. That's the thing with the Blair Witch Project. You actually don't see a thing. Films like Saw. I haven't watched a single one of them. The previews were a complete turn-off for me. Like, everything in me is telling me not to go there, that I won't enjoy that experience, and that such an experience in my life is not something that is missing. And yet, millions of people watch those films and actually enjoy them. Are they all like sadists enjoying watching others suffer? Psychopaths who haven't revealed themselves yet and in need for inspiration? Or worse, cold-blooded individuals without empathy who aren't affected by the sight of horror? Yeah, no, so it's nothing like that actually. The science behind this is actually pretty cool, from the brain's perspective at least. So let me show you how we get scared, why we get scared, what happens in our brain and body, and why we actually end up enjoying this experience. Hey Gurk, let's begin with jump scares. Why do some people enjoy haunted houses? Or my son, who asked me the other day if I could scare him around the house, Just going boo. He finds that funny, he's 11 and when I do it, he likes it. Okay, well, jump scares are an instinctive reaction to a possible threat. But why? Why do we actually jump up, have these uncontrolled movements and scream? Well, the answer is survival. Predators sneak up on you and out of the blue, boom, they jump on you. Well, as a survival mechanism, nature has evolved this instinctive split-second reaction. Now, jumping away from a deadly spider or snake can literally save your life. Screaming and jumping up, well, there's a fair chance that you'll actually scare a predator itself away or make it miss. And that can be the difference between being eaten alive or live another day. Now, if we have a look at what's happening inside our brain, it's interesting. Look, the amygdala is the center for fear in our brain. It's quite a small brain structure, but very potent as it manages our survival instincts, right? Well, when the amygdala triggers the alarm, it instantly floods our brain with adrenaline and endorphins, just in case we need them for the worst case scenario. They sharpen our senses and boost our whole system. Endorphins are a natural painkiller, just in case we would get wounded. The amygdala preemptively gives us a shot of it. But then, the moment our conscious brain realized it was all a false alert, it released other chemicals to calm down our whole system. Here we get serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Now the serotonin makes us feel safe again, but also happy and boosts our self-confidence. It's because of that serotonin that going through a haunted house can make us feel more self-confident, right? Now the dopamine triggers the feeling of enjoying having accomplished something. You know, the I did it feeling. And then the oxytocin. Well, the oxytocin relaxes the pressure in the blood vessels. It calms us down. But oxytocin also is responsible for bonding, so that when we go through a scary experience together with others, we end up having a stronger bond with them. Now you see, all this explains why going through a scary experience, especially a fake one, is such a rush in emotions, as our brain gets flooded with chemicals. Yeah, okay, but why does it still work when we know something scary is going to happen? You go to the haunted house, you know they're going to scare you, you know it very darn well, and you still jump. Or again with my son, right? If I just hide and remain silent, he goes, "Daddy, I know you're there." And then the moment I go boo, he's still scared and jumps when I eventually show myself. And he knew very well. Remember, this jump scare is an evolutionary advantage to help us survive a sudden attack from a predator. So imagine in nature, a prehistoric man hears like a strange sound. He knows he might be on the brink of being attacked. It is exactly in that moment that he needs this evolutionary advantage more than ever. When we're on high alert, it's the prefrontal brain that gets activated, but still the amygdala is in control. The amygdala scans all incoming information for potential danger. It also works closely with the hippocampus, which is in charge of memory formation. So whilst you're scanning your surroundings, your brain is running all kinds of scenarios of potential threats based on your prior experience. It gets pretty tense up there. Now in adults, the prefrontal brain is fully formed and can inhibit, can soften or even silence the amygdala's response. But the prefrontal brain will only reach maturity at about 24 years of age. Before that, children will still jump, just like adolescents will. But some adults, well, I've been told, are still jumpy. What does that mean now? Is there like prefrontal brain damaged? No, it's not. It's the contrary. It's the amygdala which is too strong to silence. Well, some people have a very sensitive amygdala. You know, so sensitive. The prefrontal brain is not able to override its signal anymore. To give an extreme example, people with PTSD have developed this oversensitive amygdala due to the trauma they experienced. And yes, these people are subject to jump scares and more, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Why does it work with films? I mean, it's one thing when our brain perceives a potential danger for ourselves, I get that. But in a film where everything is like clearly fiction and there's absolutely no danger to our own lives, why do we still get jump scares? Like during a scary movie where the music becomes creepy and I just know something is about to happen and I still jump and... I mean, people still jump and scream when it does happen. No, not me, of course. People I know have told me that happens. I mean, is our brain like really so stupid that it thinks we're in danger because of what's happening on screen? No, not stupid, no. It's because of the mirror neurons. Mirror neurons? Yes. We have these mirror neurons in our brain, more specifically all over the parts of our brain responsible for visual processing and movement. And what these mirror neurons do is whenever they see someone else do something, well, they fire as if we're doing it ourselves.
Move, children! Vámonos!
Now, just try it. Go and watch a YouTube video of people doing something stupid and hurt themselves. You'll soon find yourself going, ouch, and making faces.
Oh!
As if whatever you're watching was partially happening to you. And from a brain's perspective, it is actually partially happening to you, at least emotionally. Now, some scientists have claimed that these mirror neurons are the basis of our capacity for empathy. You know, our brain evolved before we invented films and TVs and YouTube videos. Connecting with others this way would have helped strengthening bonds and helping others out. So let me see if I get this right. So when I watch a horror movie and I get all, people get all stressed out and get jump scares, it happens because of the mirror neurons who make the experience just a bit too real, and when the music gets all creepy, we know something is about to happen, and that still works because of the whole amygdala thing, right? Yes. And depending on the sensitivity of your amygdala, you'll freak out, get tense, or shrug. And afterwards you'll have a good laugh as your brain will relax and be flooded with all these chemicals, which will give you a sense of well-being, achievement and fun. Unless you just watch that film alone and your brain still believes you might be in danger. Yeah, you might still be jumpy for a while then. But at least now you know why. Yes, we know why. So why was that again? It might have saved your life. Survival, yeah, sure. The whole survival thing, sure. I get it. I get it. I'll explain that to those people I know, those who get jump scares. Not me, of course. Huh? What is Brain out.
Sharp